We're gonna shoot something really big.
So I want to talk today about how I sold my web series to Microsoft. The route that it took to actually get to sale was pretty circuitous, but now that I look at it, it was kind of a straight line. So I want to explain how that went down. So I was at a conference and I was running a company that dealt with both the technology side of the web as well as the content side of the web. And one part of our company was making media players that help studios tell stories in new ways. And then I would deal with the kind of content slate development stuff for them as well. So we were there and at a conference, and after this panel that I attended, everybody was just gunning for the participants of the panel, the sort of super famous techie people. And it was just a mob. And I noticed that the moderator of the panel was just sort of floating off, kind of checking her watch. And I said, look, we have this technology, it's great, blah, 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 but I'm on the content side of things, and I'm wondering if you can introduce me to somebody who might be interested in this particular kind of content. And she said to me, I have the exact person you need to meet. And so naturally, the first person I meet is somebody that isn't the right person. But I asked them the same question, is there somebody you think might like this? And he said, absolutely. We're going out for drinks, why don't you come with us? So we went out for drinks. One of the surest ways to get in good with people is buy them a round of drinks. And so I started talking to that person and I said, what do you think is the best plan for this project? And I didn't say, do you want to buy it? I asked them for their opinion about where the best placement was for it. And this guy worked for a fairly large production company. And he said, well, I think we'd like to talk to you about this. So why don't you come by the office? So now I've gone from sitting in the audience at a conference to meeting the moderator, to meeting a producer, to meeting another producer, to going to have a meeting at a production company. Mind you, there's no agent involved in all of this, right? I did not have representation at that time. And so we go and we meet with the executive producers, the people who actually own the company, the people who make the decisions and write the checks. So the right people are in the room. We had this talk and they saw my sizzle and they loved it. And they said, we'd like to do a shopping deal with you. Now, a shopping deal is essentially, they get a window of time to shop this to networks, right? And for this was a digital show. And so they were connected in that whole space. So we ended up signing that shopping deal. Now, they're gonna be the ones to make it, right? But I negotiated my ability, because I created the show, that I'm gonna be the showrunner. So not only, hopefully I'm gonna get the fee, the executive producer fee, and share that with them, but I'm also gonna get paid to make it, right? I'm gonna get paid to be the actual head producer on the show. And so they shopped it around. The first month was slow, and then all of a sudden we started getting some bites. Microsoft Network, which used to have kind of a big video platform, was interested in the show. And so, but Microsoft just doesn't make the decision on their own. They have an agency in the middle. So now we've gone producer, production company, distribution platform. Now we have an agency involved. Now the agency represented Toyota. So now we've got production company, Toyota, Saatchi, and Microsoft. And so now you see that this thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now there's a lot of people that need to make some decisions, and it was going to be about a $250,000 project. So they don't write checks like that easily. But what I had done through that whole thing was co-opted other people's credibility, right? So this producer I was saddled up to had credibility within the company. The company had credibility at Microsoft. Microsoft already had an agency and had credibility with the agency producers and with the brand managers. So now all of a sudden everybody's bought in. And from the moment that we got the thumbs up, the green light, We were in production 3 weeks later. So this thing goes from me sitting in a seat with my notepad in about 3 months to a $250,000 check. Now, mind you, the production company is going to be the one spending that money, but I'm already baked into that budget. You don't need representation. You just have to ask for what you want, right? And if you have the right project and you've made a great sizzle reel and you've packaged it correctly, then all of a sudden there's all kinds of little enticing things that make it easier for it to go downstream. So the story isn't over yet, right? Then I find myself at the table at Discovery because they saw it and they loved it and they thought that it might have a place on the Discovery Channel. Now, we got darn close, and this always bums me out, but at the end of the day, that kind of action sport thing on Discovery wasn't playing very well. It's kind of a niche community, and they didn't feel like it was going to play in Kansas, so they ended up passing on it. However, look at how far that show got. That show ended up being something that defined me and allowed me to work a ton more. And I kept on getting bigger and bigger projects. So you never know where this is going to start. The moderator at a panel, usually the most boring person in the room, ended up being the linchpin to this whole thing. So leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know what the most circuitous route that one of your projects took. Let me know if you've sold anything or if this makes sense to you and you have a project that you think can go down this path, because it truly is possible. Now, subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this, and leave a comment, and let's see where this goes.